This is Unfiltered with Dave
And Carol, and sometimes Deb.
It's disheartening on how they're taking care of themselves.
Well, how they're not taking
How they're not taking care of
you know.
it. And to complain and the disease and what we do basically is try to prevent a lot of that from happening. But the way they take care of themselves is like, what do you how do you take care of that?
I remember like 10 years ago there was this thing when people started saying being obese was a disease, or it was, and then someone, what do you guys think? Is it a disease or is it a choice?
I think it can be a disease.
It can be a disease.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about hormones, what we deal with, hormones, thyroid, metabolic disorders. All these things are problems. They're medical problems that need to be addressed. Unfortunately, our medical industry and our doctors and at large
Are not addressing them. Yeah.
don't care. And it's, I don't know if it's that they don't care. I think a lot of them, they're not empathetic at all to what people are telling them, but they don't know how to fix that, right? A doctor through all their schooling and residency spend about an hour in nutrition. That's it.
Yeah.
I've been told that by lots of doctors, lots of people. Nutrition is not something that they're talked about because it's not about prevention being a doctor. It's about treating a problem right now. And that's why clinics like ours are opening up, right? Because we're more about prevention. We're more about, let's deal with what's going on. Tell me how you feel. What's going on? Where are your problems? And let's try to figure out how we can kind of help with that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, yeah, I mean, it's, we want to go to the masses, and those masses are who needs our help. The competitors, the people that live like we do now, those people know what to do. I mean, yeah, maybe they need to be tweaked here for the most part.
For the
And maybe
most
they
part.
need to be tweaked here and there. Maybe they need help with supplementation. Maybe their hormones are jacked up, or maybe their thyroids are messed up, or maybe they need some coaching here and there. But it's the average person, the mom and the dad, the single woman, single male that is fighting with losing weight or not feeling good or whatever it is, and they're not getting the attention from their doctors.
Well, and it could be breaking the family cycle because it's what it's what their grandparents did
Yeah.
that now their parents do that now they're doing, and it's all they know.
It's
Yeah.
their
And
pattern.
they
Yeah, it's
don't
that
know,
pattern.
they don't think that anything is wrong. They might be 30 or 40 pounds plus overweight, and they don't see a problem with that because that's what they were brought
Yeah, they
up
don't
in,
know
and
any
that's
different.
that's their norm. It's sad when you see that people are okay with that, and then they're not realizing what that's going to cause later in life, or even what's happening now earlier in life. When you see that family history that is passed down, and then you've got the 5-year-old who's grossly obese and having diabetes because he's grossly or she is grossly obese. And you hear those stories of wanting to, how do you break that cycle?
Okay, so let's talk. So it's a cycle, obviously, right? Because parents teach their kids, the kids grow up and they're doing the same thing. All of us have some of that, right?
Mhm.
We have traditions, we have
Beliefs.
we have beliefs, we have ways we cook and ways we do certain things because that's how we were taught to do them. So how do you do that? How do you
change
How
that
do you
cycle?
get that changed? Because that's something that's built into our chemistry now, and especially when you look like you're talking about kids. So that's kind of the
Well, and if it's a kid, you're not going to get the kid to change unless the parent is going to change.
Exactly.
Because unfortunately,
so we're just passing all these bad
yeah.
habits down.
Yeah, unfortunately, that has to become a family affair where the entire family has to be on board with making that change. Otherwise, that child is the child's not going to the grocery store, and the child is
Right.
not cooking in the kitchen. It's the mother or the
Well,
father
it
who's
goes to
doing that.
education. And I think that for us, we take it for granted. Because there's things that people will say, and I'm like, you are kidding me. You didn't know that? And I'm thinking it in my mind. I don't say it.
Oh, I think the same thing, but it's sad that they don't know.
No.
And I think that they should know. You think they should know, but they don't know.
They don't.
Right.
So it's education. We can't expect that a lot of these people that are in this situation know why they're there.
Well, and let's take a simple thing, something we've all probably come across, and something that people think is healthy, and so they get it as a snack, and they give them to their kids, and they're taking it on hikes, but it's really not that good. I mean, granola
Yep.
is very high in calories, high in sugars, high in carbs, and it's not very good for you. But we don't, but they almost make it sound like it's a healthy food.
Yeah.
And that's where, and I think educating, you're absolutely right, is, man, and we've talked about this how many times, taking people to the grocery store and just walking through the aisles and say, okay, tell me what you would get here. And then showing them, okay, here's the ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your laundry list of ingredients and chemicals that are in this. And this is how much sugar is in there. This is how many carbs. This is what your proteins and your fats, and and then maybe showing them a better choice.
Yep.
And that's where I think, how do you do that? How do you get to where you can take people and show them, okay, it would be great if you had a website where they could go on and they could search their product that they buy. Oh, okay, well, what do we eat? We eat Pop-Tarts for morning, right? And then being able to have healthier choices listed. Okay, here are some things that you could do that are healthier for you, that are quick.
Options.
They taste good, but they have, either more natural or more, better ingredients, less sugars, less this or that.
Well, so, you have people who maybe go to King Soopers or Safeway, and then they're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna get healthy, so I'm gonna go to Whole Foods or I'm gonna go to Sprouts. Well,
Still gotta know what you're buying.
just because you're buying something at Whole Foods or you're buying something at Sprouts doesn't mean it's the best for you.
Right.
And I think that is probably a huge misconception, because people will go, oh, well, I'm going to Whole Foods, it must be healthy for me. But they have to realize that not everything at Whole Foods, not everything at Sprouts, not everything at Vitamin Cottage is healthy for you.
Right. That's a good
What
point.
about shopping on the outside of the aisles? You think that, like processed foods? Talk about.
It's a concept.
It's to get you to buy, it's a gimmick. It's putting something visible to get you to see it. I'm guilty of doing that. I'm guilty of being in the checkout line, and I'm looking at, oh, okay, I'll grab this little chocolate bar because it teases you.
Right.
I mean, I'm guilty of doing
Yeah.
that.
And processed foods, I mean, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of it out there. A lot of the stuff people buy is going to be processed. I personally don't know many people that can get away from it. I know people that do, right? They eat all natural stuff, and it's all organic, and it's all from the ground, or it's all, farm raised in Colorado, whatever. But, something we've always said is you have to be wealthy to eat healthy. That's not necessarily true, but yeah, if you're going to buy everything, I've got a cow in my backyard and that's where I get all my meat from, yeah, you're not many people can do that. So it's, again, going back to learning, okay, what foods are better choices, right? It's not going to be perfect. You can't expect that. That's where you're going to fail.
Planning ahead.
Preparing the meals, looking at ingredients, learning just simple things that you can do. But then you get back to the whole thing of, it's got to be something you want to do, right? I get people in here all the time looking for the magic pill. Everybody wants that magic pill. How can I work the least amount and get the best results, right? And that's not always how it works. You have to put the time, you have to put the work in, and that starts with education. Learning, taking the time to kind of learn, how do you read a label? What are some of these ingredients I'm putting in my body? And then trying to find something that might be a little better. Not something that, okay, this is a product I buy for $1.50. The best thing I can buy is going to cost me $5.50. Not everybody can do that. I can't do that. So it's kind of finding things that, breads are a big thing, right? Enriched flour, there's lots of sugars and a lot of different things. But there are breads out there now that are much better for you. More natural whole grains. Ezekiel, Rudy's is one we buy. There's really good choices out there, and they're not that much different. I mean, maybe $1 or $2. Which I know can be a strain on some people's
But again,
income.
it's, I think the bottom line is education and planning ahead. Probably two of the biggest keys, because if you know what you need to be doing and then you have a plan in place to do it, it's going to be so much easier to follow to end up getting you where you
Right.
are wanting to go.